Think we're all done sa ating first item. Can we have now the discussion on the answer key? Okay lang ba sa inyo? To hold in abeyance of the exam 2. Okay? Everybody please, eyes on the screen now. Can we stop further sa atin pong answering the question 2 or mock test 2? Thank you. Okay, the content of our exam talks about the joint delivery, no? Voucher program of the senior high school, technical vocational livelihood. So ito yung ibinibigay natin sa ating mga estudyante na senior high school as part of their TVL na hindi kayang ibigay ng ating mga public schools na assessment or training dahil wala tayong mga available resources, available materials, and even teachers to conduct the training, no? And finally, preparing them for their assessment. So we are looking for a tawag dito, partner institutions, mga private or TESDA as affiliates, training centers would help us, no, prepare our students na meron silang mga materials, tools, and all of that. So all the senior high school implementers na school heads dito, mga head teachers ay alam nila ito, no? So they know all these. Magkano ang ibinibigay sa bawat bata or bawat senior high school? Is it 17,000? Can I have a comment from the head teachers in the senior high school? Magkano ang JDVP per learner? Is it 17 or 27? Basta merong 7.
17, sir.
Yes, 17,000 is given, no? Pero hindi 'yon kasi nakadirekta sa school. It is already a agreement between the central and the private training center, diretso sa kanila yung amount, no? What the school is just to provide the actual LRN number, ano pa yung mga certifications na from the school head, then the rest of the tawag dito, attachment of the documents ay nasa partner JDVP schools training center na siya, no? So ganun yung nangyayari. So walang hawak si principal or even the school coordinator of that voucher na pera. No? Diretsong dumadaan ang kapirahan from the central or division to the partner. No? So ang tanging nga, sabi natin sa lecture natin nung batch 1 ay kung anong mga naitutulong ng partner agency or the partner training center. However, that is just only a donation, hindi po siya pwersahan, no? Pwersahang hihingi ka because yan ay pinagbabawal. Yan. In the first question, it talks about the most accurate policy rationale providing the vouchers to cover their tuition, to the supplies and equipment, considering all its alignment in the country's workforce. So among these A, B, C, or D, asan dyan ang nakatuhog, no? Kung bakit may JDVP? The answer is A. In B, C, or D, not all is being subsidized, no? Yung private schools is not even. For C, all tracks, hindi naman siya all tracks, no? It doesn't also replace the existing educational subsidies for the senior high school. Merong voucher program for the junior and senior high school. Kaiba din itong JDVP. Pang TLE lang siya or TVL track, no? For D, all extracurricular activity, hindi yan extracurricular but it's a part of the training, no? For question 2, which statement best reflects the eligibility framework? Okay, who will qualify for the voucher program. Of course, ang hinahanap natin dito are those who are in the marginalized sector, no? Okay, among those with social protection initiatives and who meet the requirement are those beneficiaries mostly among our 4Ps or the other government educational support program for underprivileged learners. Sila yung priority for the JDVP. So the answer is C. A, private, hindi naman. B, automatic to all senior, hindi rin. D, eligibility solely for students in TESDA, hindi naman, no? Okay, we go to question 3. Considering the implementation provisions of DepEd Order number 33, which policy statement most accurately explain the role of participating TV institutions, ensuring the delivery. Okay. Ano dapat ang trabaho ng ating mga partner TVIs? Okay. They are responsible for the delivery of the TVL specialization that is covered by the voucher and ensuring that financial assistance translate into the actual access to quality training, facilities, and industry relevant learning experiences. That's why yung mga TVI partner institutions na nakuha natin, kailangan kompleto sila ng facilities, yung magagaling talaga ng mga trainers or teachers because they are being paid no by the government to continue no the the actions of the school na hindi kayang maibigay kaya nga partner. Okay, B, may only doon as a negative statement. C, replace all functions of the senior high school schools, hindi naman because there is only a specific timeline for the TVI. No? TVI, yun yung mga partner institutions natin. No? Merong TVI for agriculture, may TVI for ICT, meron tayong TVI for cookery, ganon. Or butchering, lahat meron, no? Participating technical vocational institutions are limited. Those are negative statement. So let's see if okay ang mga scoring natin. Yan. Okay naman siya. Ang daming green. Then question 4. In view of DO, again, 33 of 2018, which statement best capture the accountability mechanism of DepEd in evaluating and selecting the students? Naansiran na to kanina, no? Only those qualified students, particularly under government-assisted programs. Yung 4Ps are the priority. No? Not automatically are approved. A, assigned task students evaluated by TESDA, hindi. Mandated to prioritize from urban, hindi rin. No? So the answer is B. Sagot. Okay. Pangilan-ngilan ang may red. Next. Based on the provisions of SBM, ito na ay yung project wins natin, no? Which statement comprehensively reflect the accountability mechanism of the schools in ensuring the sustainability and alignment with the principles of the SBM. Okay, one concerns of SBM, of course, is to establish a school health and nutrition committee to oversee the program implementation, collaborate with the stakeholders such as the parents and LGUs in ensuring that there is hygiene, health, and sanitation that are met through a shared ownership. Ang SBM kasi, ang kanyang focus or principle is shared ownership, no? Shared ownership meaning you co-own the program, you co-own the projects, okay? You subsidize and provide support. Malimit na nasisira ang ating mga facilities sa school dahil ang mga tao doon ay they don't appreciate what is being constructed or what is being adapted in the school. So, kapag kayo ay mga school heads na fulfilled principals, you have to explain to the people that the school is the extension of their homes and their barangay hall, no? Na kung ano man ang nandyan sa school ay pananagutan nilang lahat or tayong lahat ay concerned at mga laga. Okay? Nakakalunos isipin na kapag merong mga gulayan sa paaralan sa school, ang unang nakikinabang at kumakain ay yung nasa neighbor, no? Pinapakialaman. Yun. They don't appreciate co-ownership pag gano'n, no? They don't even know what is shared ownership kung gano'n ang nangyayari. Ninanakawan kayo ng computer. Yan. Yung mga wires ay ginugunting. Yung mga bakal ay pinakikilo, no? Yung mga bintana ay pinagbabato. So those are the concerns that they don't appreciate the existence of the school in their own community. So the role is to explain them na salamin at itsura ng barangay ang paaralan, no? Kung pangit ang paaralan, kung marumi ang paaralan at hindi siya sanitize, walang improvement, ay meaning yan din ang itsura ng komunidad na kinabibilangan nila. So yun yung story niyan. Okay, next. We go to question 6. Considering the objectives of SBM-WinS program as articulated in DepEd, which statement best explains the program direct contribution to the holistic goals of K-12 in terms of creating a safe and supportive learning environment? Okay? Direct contribution. Of course, ay nakakontribute ng WinS program ang reducing of the spread of diseases through improved hygiene, sanitation, and waste management. And therefore, the SBM-WinS program will strengthen the student health and well-being and also improving the attendance, the participation, and the learning outcomes that is consistent with our national goals. For B, okay, purchase their own sanitation supplies. That's not the goal, no? Transferring all sanitation responsibility to the barangay, not even. Or D, limiting with interventions only to toilet, constructions, and the rest ay wala kayong hand washing, ano pa yung mga programs ng WinS, no? Hand washing, ano pa? Gulayan sa paaralan, yung toothbrushing, ganun, no? Dental health. Good. Okay, green. Next. Question think we're all 10,000 is given, no? Pero hindi yun kasi nakadirekta sa school. It is already a agreement between the central and the private training center. Diretso sa kanila yung amount, no? What the school is just to provide the actual LRN number, ano pa yung mga certifications na from the school head. Then the rest of the nagtawag dito, attachment of the documents ay nasa partner JDVP schools, training center na siya. No? So ganun yung nangyayari. So walang hawak si principal or even the school coordinator of that voucher na pera. No? Diretsong dumadaan ang kapirahan from the central or division to the partner. No? So ang tanging nga, sabi natin sa lecture natin nung batch 1 ay kung anong mga naitutulong ng uh, partner agency or the partner training center. However, that is just only a donation, hindi po siya pwersahan, no? Pwersahang hihingi ka because yan ay pinagbabawal. Yan. In the first question, it talks about the most accurate policy rationale providing the vouchers to cover their tuition, to the supplies and equipment, considering all its alignment in the country's workforce. So among these A, B, C, or D, asan dyan ang nakatuhog, no? Kung bakit may JDVP? The answer is A. In B, C, or D, not all is being subsidized, no? Yung private schools is not even. For C, all tracks, hindi naman siya all tracks, no? It doesn't also replace the existing educational subsidies for the senior high school. Merong voucher program for the junior and senior high school. Kaiba din itong JDVP. Pang TLE lang siya or TVL track, no? For D, all extracurricular activity, hindi yan extracurricular but it's a part of the training, no? For question 2, which statement best reflects the eligibility framework? Okay, who will qualify for the voucher program? Of course, ang hinahanap natin dito are those who are in the marginalized sector, no? Okay, among those with social protection initiatives and who meet the requirement are those beneficiaries mostly among our 4Ps or the other government educational support program for underprivileged learners. Sila yung priority for the JDVP. So the answer is C. A, private, hindi naman. B, automatic to all senior, hindi rin. D, eligibility solely for students in TESDA, hindi naman, no? Okay, we go to question 3. Considering the implementation provisions of DepEd Order number 33, which policy statement most accurately explain the role of participating TV institutions, ensuring the delivery. Okay. Ano dapat ang trabaho ng ating mga partner TVIs? Okay. They are responsible for the delivery of the TVL specialization that is covered by the voucher and ensuring that financial assistance translate into the actual access to quality training, facilities, and industry relevant learning experiences. That's why yung mga TVI partner institutions na nakuha natin, kailangan kompleto sila ng facilities, yung magagaling talaga ng mga trainers or teachers because they are being paid, no, by the government to continue, no, the actions of the school na hindi kayang maibigay. Kaya nga partner. Okay? B, only doon as a negative statement. C, replace all functions of the senior high school schools, hindi naman because there is only a specific timeline for the TVI. TVI, yun yung mga partner institutions natin, no? Merong TVI for agriculture, may TVI for ICT, meron tayong TVI for cookery, ganon. Or butchering, lahat meron, no? Participating technical vocational institutions are limited. Those are negative statement. So let's see if okay ang mga scoring natin. Yan. Okay naman siya. Ang daming green. Then question 4. In view of DO, again, 33 of 2018, which statement best capture the accountability mechanism of DepEd in evaluating and selecting the students? Naansiran na to kanina, no? Only those qualified students, particularly under government-assisted programs. Yung 4Ps are the priority. No? Not automatically are approved. A, assigned task students evaluated by TESDA, hindi. Mandated to prioritize from urban, hindi rin. No? So the answer is B. Sagot. Okay. Pangilan-ngilan ang may red. Next. Based on the provisions of SBM, ito na ay yung project wins natin, no? Which statement comprehensively reflect the accountability mechanism of schools in ensuring the sustainability and alignment with the principles of the SBM? Okay, one, concerns of SBM, of course, is to establish a school health and nutrition committee to oversee the program implementation, collaborate with the stakeholders such as the parents and LGUs in ensuring that there is hygiene, health, and sanitation that are met through a shared ownership. Ang SBM kasi, ang kanyang focus or principle is shared ownership, no? Shared ownership meaning you co-own the program, you co-own the projects, okay? You subsidize and provide support. Malimit na nasisira ang ating mga facilities sa school dahil ang mga tao doon ay they don't appreciate what is being constructed or what is being adapted in the school. So, kapag kayo ay mga school heads na fulfilled principles, you have to, okay? Lang siya or TVL track, no? For D, all extracurricular activity, hindi yan extracurricular but it's a part of the training, no? For question 2, which statement best reflects the eligibility framework? Okay, who will qualify for the voucher program? Of course, ang hinahanap natin dito are those who are in the marginalized sector, no? Okay, among those with social protection initiatives and who meet the requirement are those beneficiaries mostly among our 4Ps or the other government educational support program for underprivileged learners. Sila yung priority for the JDVP. So the answer is C. A, private, hindi naman. B, automatic to all senior, hindi rin. D, eligibility solely for students in TESDA, hindi naman, no? Okay, we go to question 3. Considering the implementation provisions of DepEd Order number 33, which policy statement most accurately explain the role of participating TV institutions, ensuring the delivery. Okay. Ano dapat ang trabaho ng ating mga partner TVIs? Okay. They are responsible for the delivery of the TVL specialization that is covered by the voucher and ensuring that financial assistance translate into the actual access to quality training, facilities, and industry relevant learning experiences. That's why yung mga TVI partner institutions na nakuha natin, kailangan kompleto sila ng facilities, yung magagaling talaga ng mga trainers or teachers, because they are being paid, no, by the government to continue, no, the the actions of the school na hindi kayang maibigay. Kaya nga partner. Okay? B, may only doon as a negative statement. C, replace all functions of the senior high school schools. Hindi naman, because there is only a specific timeline for the TVI. No? TVI, yun yung mga partner institutions natin. No? Merong TVI for agriculture, may TVI for ICT, meron tayong TVI for cookery, ganon. Or butchering, lahat meron, no? Participating technical vocational institutions are limited. Those are negative statement. So let's see if okay ang mga scoring natin. Yan. Okay naman siya. Ang daming green. Then question 4. In view of DO, again, 33 of 2018, which statement best capture the accountability mechanism of DepEd in evaluating and selecting the students? Naansiran na to kanina, no? Only those qualified students, particularly under government-assisted programs. Yung 4Ps are the priority, no? Not automatically are approved. A, assigned task students evaluated by TESDA, hindi. Mandated to prioritize from urban, hindi rin, no? So the answer is B. Sagot. Okay. Pangilan-ngilan ang may red. Next. Based on the provisions of SBM, ito na ay yung project wins natin, no? Which statement comprehensively reflect the accountability mechanism of schools in ensuring the sustainability and alignment with the principles of the SBM? Okay, one, concerns of SBM, of course, is to establish a school health and nutrition committee to oversee the program implementation, collaborate with the stakeholders such as the parents and LGUs in ensuring that there is hygiene, health, and sanitation that are met through a shared ownership. Ang SBM kasi, ang kanyang focus or principle is shared ownership, no? Shared ownership meaning you co-own the program, you co-own the projects, okay? You subsidize and provide support. Malimit na nasisira ang ating mga facilities sa school dahil ang mga tao doon ay they don't appreciate what is being constructed or what is being adopted in the school. So, kapag kayo ay mga school heads na fulfilled principles, you have to explain to the people that the school is the extension of their homes and their barangay hall, no? Na kung ano man ang nandyan sa school ay pananagutan nilang lahat or tayong lahat ay concerned at mga laga. Okay? Nakakalunos isipin na kapag merong mga gulayan sa paaralan sa school, ang unang nakikinabang at kumakain ay yung nasa neighbor, no? Pinapakialaman. Yun. They don't appreciate co-ownership pag gano'n, no? They don't even know what is shared ownership kung gano'n ang nangyayari. Ninanakawan kayo ng computer. Yan. Yung mga wires ay ginugunting. Yung mga bakal ay pinakikilo, no? Yung mga bintana ay pinagbabato. So those are the concerns that they don't appreciate the existence of the school in their own community. So the role is to explain them na salamin at itsura ng barangay ang paaralan, no? Kung pangit ang paaralan, kung marumi ang paaralan at Hindi siya sanitize, walang improvement, ay meaning yan din ang itsura ng komunidad na kinabibilangan nila. So yun yung story niyan. Okay, next. We go to question 6. Considering the objectives of SBM-WinS program as articulated in DepEd, which statement best explains the program direct contribution to the holistic goals of K-12 in terms of creating a safe and supportive learning environment? Okay? Direct contribution. Of course, ay nako-contribute ng WINS program ang reducing of the spread of diseases through improved hygiene, sanitation, and waste management. And therefore, the SBM-WINS program will strengthen the student health and well-being and also improving the attendance, the participation, and the learning outcomes that is consistent with our national goals. For B, okay, purchase their own sanitation supplies. That's not the goal, no? Transferring all sanitation responsibility to the barangay, not even. Or D, limiting with interventions only to toilet, constructions, and the rest ay wala kayong hand washing, ano pa yung mga programs ng WINS, no? Hand washing, ano pa? Gulayan sa paaralan, yung toothbrushing, ganun, no? Dental health. Good. Okay, green. Next. Question 7. Within the framework of SBM, water, sanitation, and hygiene in school, which statement most accurately describe the community and local government in the integration of the program in ensuring a long-term effectiveness and sustainability? A. Community members and local government unit are encouraged to observe the program passively. Okay, the negative statement there is passive, not active. So, wrong ang A. B. Local government involves limited financial donations. Okay, mali din. And D. Parents and community may only participated in isolated cleanup drive. Hindi rin po, no? There should be a scheduled cleanup program. Halangan naman po yung mga estudyante ang maglilinis, no? So, our answer is on C. Communicate Communities and local government units are expected to collaborate with the school and the school health and nutrition committee, providing the resources, support, and shared accountability for hygiene, sanitation, and health improvement. So, okay, next. No. For question 8, considering the operational framework of the SBM-WinS program, which statement best reflects the meaning of SBM in the context of ensuring the sustainability and stakeholders' participation? Okay, our answer is B. SBM refers to the approach that empowers the school and communities to take ownership of the educational processes, including the health and sanitation initiatives, thereby ensuring the sustainability and okay. The principle of SBM is shared accountability. Okay, next for question 9. Question 9, based on the definitions provided by the SBM-WinS framework, which statement best illustrates the purpose of establishing the school health nutrition committee in relation to the overall goals of the hygiene, health, and sustainability in schools? Purpose, okay, to oversee the implementation of the WINS program. In B, mandated only is negative. In C, Responsible are the supervising extracurricular health activities. Okay. D, task to act temporary committee. The committee should be a long-term, no? And overall oversee of the program. And so mostly are green. Next, question 10. In the context of SBM-WinS program, which statement best captures the principle of sustainability as applied to water, sanitation, and hygiene initiatives in Okay. Sorry for that. Sustainability in SBM-WinS refers to a long-term viability, ensuring continued positive impact on the health and well-being of the students, the teachers, and staff through consistent management, monitoring, and community collaboration. In A, B, C, D, though there are statements specifying long-term, however, the concerns is not focused on the school level. No? For A, division and regional. For B, one-time improvement facility only. No? So paano yung susunod na taon? Paano kung nabara ang mga toilet and hand washing? Tapos pinagpuputol, no? Ang daming mga cases na ganyan. Ang ganda-gandang ipinatayo yung hand washing. Kinabukasan, nako sira lahat ang mga faucets. Nagkandahulog-hulog, pinagtataga, kinuha ang mga tawag doon, yung tubo. Nangyari na ba sa inyo mga ganyan? May experience na kayo? So C, sustainable SBM achieved by prioritizing temporary interventions. Okay, that is not long term. Next, question 11. Given the defined scope of SBM-WinS, which statement best describe how waste management contribute to both the environment and health outcomes of learners? Waste management is primarily concerned with to bring their own garbage bin from home, reducing cost but not addressing the environment health risks. A is already negative, no? B, only is another negative statement. C, led by the barangay with schools only acting as beneficiary. So hindi siya co-owned. Or D, the answer key says, it's a set of practices and interventions that aim to reduce the waste and ensuring the safe and responsible disposal of materials, thereby promoting hygiene, health, and environmental protection. Question 12. Which policy-based statement best explain the role of supporting student learning and effectiveness? Okay. Healthy hygiene practices such as regular hand washing and proper waste disposal reduce the spread of communicable diseases, leading to improved attendance. And that's the effect. Better concentration in their class and enhanced learning outcomes consistent with the goals of quality basic education. Healthy hygiene practices solely on grooming, that's not. Okay. occasional distribution, and limited to personal responsibility. I know you can already look into the differences of those responses. So you could spot immediately which one is the correct answer. Okay. What legal mandate directly institutionalized the SBM-WinS is on the Basic Act of 2001 RA 9155. That's the mother program ensuring the overarching government frameworks for quality basic education, ensuring that the learners are safe, no? Gender sensitive, lahat nun, no? So the answer is C. Next, when it comes to the provisions of policy framework for operationalization of ensuring learners' health and safety as part of DepEd is yung okay ka sa DepEd, no? Okay ka sa DepEd means Oplan Kalusugan sa DepEd. That is the DO number 28 series of 2018. Okay, it's letter A. Tingnan ko nga kung master na ninyo yung okay ka sa DepEd. Oplan Kalusugan. For SBM policy legal framework that is strengthening the requirement for mandating evidence-based implementation of both environment and sanitation program. That's RA number 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Sino nakakuha? Okay. Division of the House. Hati-hati. Next. The SBM-WinS program, which is not among the stated specific objective. Okay, not means negative. Which one is negative? The answer is A, to centralize decision making from the Central Office for Uniformity. Good. You are already spotting the least, not, or main, no? Which is not appropriate label or which is not correctly labeled. The answer is Republic Act 6972, Philippine Clean Water Act. Mostly are negative. The answer here is C. And this is the Daycare Act, no? Daycare Act or the establishment of daycare centers. That's C. Question 18. What legal basis is mostly aligned with school empowerment? Yeah, of course, you know that. That's RA 9155, the Governance of Basic Education Act or the decentralization of schools. Decentralization of schools or empowerment is given decisions to schools for their own local initiatives. So RA 9155. Marami pa rin nalito dito. Okay. Next. Which is not a part of the specific programs of the WinS. Okay. Centralized procurement of national textbook. Okay. Textbook is not a part of the WinS program. Nasa health program po yan. Good. And the last question. Based on the SBM-WinS framework, which immediate school level intervention should be the most responsive to the situation? Okay. Of course, you create a committee to oversee the constructions of all the toilets, installations of hand washing stations, and the provision of safe drinking water while integrating the nutrition and hygiene promotion. Okay. Majority of you got the correct answer. Okay, you've already seen your scores. Congratulations to those who passed our assessment tonight. So all of you are 50% and above. I'll just share dito sa ating GC yung ating result. Okay? You can now continue your assessment with mock test 2. Siguro sa sunod na time because you have another speaker. Sino po yung sunod sa akin? Are now on chapter 7 of our session, and this focuses on the monitoring and evaluation processes and tools. The question posed is, what is monitoring and evaluation? Okay, is this very important in our schools? And how can school heads be able to adhere to the various competencies and skills when it comes to the implementation of the monitoring and evaluation? What do we monitor in the school level and what do we evaluate in the school level? So these are some of the sets of questions that we're going to answer for this evening. And after that, we're going to have our mock test intended for this session. Okay? Now, when we speak about education or in the focus lens of the Department of Education, we always look into its triangulation or triangulation of our core focus in the academy. Okay, we have the curriculum on the left triangle or the ano tawag doon sa parts ng triangle. We have the base and the sino makarecall ng parts ng triangle? Mga kapatid, nakalimutan natin ang triangle parts. Okay, di ba there are three sides? Yeah, three sides of the angle. Yeah. On the left side is the curriculum, the other side is the pedagogy, and of course on the base of it is the assessment. No, so that's the triangulation when it comes to our core focus in the department. No, we always of course start with the curriculum. And in the curriculum, we look into the availability of all the learning resources, the physical setup of the school, how we uh, uh, how we implement the various programs and projects of the department, what are its support in terms of the implementation of the curriculum, no? And the second one is the pedagogy. Of course, the main focus of the department, of course, is the development of the learner and the improvement of learning outcomes. Okay, and of course, that will always start in the teaching and learning sessions or core functions of our teachers, alongside with our implementation, no, as a school head in the monitoring and evaluation. So, how will we implement, no, the teaching and learning process? Yung sinasabi natin na tawag dito, yung sa K to 12, IDL, what is IDL? IDF pala, hindi siya IDL, Instructional Design Framework, no? And the last of its base is the assessment. Okay, there will always be a part of the assessment to look into the congruency of the curriculum. Now on chapter 7 of our session, and this focuses on the monitoring and evaluation in the monitoring and evaluation. So, how will we implement the teaching and learning process? Yung sinasabi natin na tawag dito, yung sa K to 12, IDL, what is IDL? IDF pala, hindi siya IDL, Instructional Design Framework, no? And the last of its base is the assessment. Okay, there will always be a part of the assessment to look into the congruency of the curriculum along with that of the pedagogy. And of course, the check and balance will always be the assessment below of it. No? Of course, when we look into its cycle, we can start with curriculum followed by the implementation, then on its assessment. Then kung assessment ang lens natin, we have to look into how well the curriculum is being implemented alongside with the implementation of the curriculum, and that's the content and pedagogy. Okay? When it comes also to content and pedagogy, we also look into the congruency of the assessment alongside with the implemented or the intended curriculum. So yun lang tayo umiikot, no? We don't have other business in the department. Okay, that's only our core business as school heads, as teachers, and as stakeholders. We always look into these three lenses. Now, ang tanong ko, saan napupunta ang monitoring and evaluation doon sa tatlong triangle, sa tatlong side ng triangle? What's our answer?
Sa assessment, sir?
Sa assessment, as its main focus on assessment. But can we do monitoring and evaluation on curriculum development?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Alongside also with content and pedagogy, do we need to monitor and evaluate as well? Yes, di ba? Kailangan nating i-monitor ang ongoing process ng teaching and learning process. So, ang monitoring and evaluation ay nakapaloob dito sa tatlo. Therefore, ito yung loop na nagdudugtong-dugtong sa tatlong core business natin sa department. So, yun yung trabaho natin. Alongside with MNE, of course, we have the beginning, no? Beginning monitoring. We also have the mid-monitoring. And of course, the last will be the evaluation. Now, we have various definitions here of MNE. Okay, it refers to the systematic collection and analysis of data and information to track the progress and effectiveness of a program, project, or intervention. That's why there will always be a checklist or a monitoring tool to lead us into the implementation, no? How well we plan, how well we implement, and how well we assess the various programs. Kasi may pera lagi ito, no? We're using and consuming the money or the finances of the government. Therefore, we have to look into the check and balance. Paano ito na-deliver? Na-deliver ba ito ng gusto? Okay? Napunta ba ito sa tamang paraan? At naka-improve ba ng academic or performance sa ating mga estudyante? Why systematic? No? Because it follows a process. There is a process. There is a one step to the other step following until such time that there is a follow through or continuous improvement. No? So that's systematic and it should be data driven. No? If you talk about data driven, there is a collection and analysis of the data and even information for us to be able to look into the progress, the strengths, okay, the weaknesses, and should we continue the program? Should we continue the project or should we stop the project? Okay? How well the intervention is being implemented. Nangyari ba yung progression? Nangyari ba yung t-test analysis na maganda ang improvement ng intervention program natin after the implementation? Okay? So the purposes of monitoring and evaluation is to ensure that the program or project is on track, okay, and achieving its goals and objectives. So kung maganda ang start, maganda ang kick, maganda ang improvement nito sa ating mga schools. Next, we provide evidence of impact and effectiveness to our stakeholders, including funders and the decision makers. Okay? If the various programs and projects that we are implementing in our schools are nakikitaan ng improvement, okay? We've seen a lot of significance, okay? There is a high value, no, and impact to the changes. Therefore, all our funders and of course our stakeholders would go on and appreciate the value of the program. Pero kung donate lang sila ng donate at wala namang nai-improve, okay, fundraising tayo ng fundraising, wala naman silang nakikita na improvement, there is no impact. Okay? Facilitate continuous improvement by identifying it's working well and what needs to be improved. That's the end goal of every plan, no? We monitor and evaluate so that at the end, we need to look into the continuous improvement. There is a cycle of improvement. Okay? Kung nakitaan natin ng concern, ng issues and gaps, therefore there will always be a room for improvement, no? The feedback, the comments and suggestions will be a assurance that we are going into a good return of investment, no? And provide a basis for decision making and of course on allocation of resources, whether mababudgetan pa ito next year or stop na natin kasi wala naman siyang impact, no? The monitoring process involves we'll start with the monitoring. In monitoring, we involve the collection and tracking of data and information on a regular basis. If you talk about a regular basis, there is a specific timeline that we're going to follow when we monitor. Hindi basta-basta pumupunta ka na doon na wala man lang pasabi or there is no actual indicators that you're going to look into that particular time. So the monitor should know that this is now the phase, the implementation phase, the planning phase, and the evaluation phase. Para makita at matrack natin yung progress ng pinupuntahan natin. We don't go there by ambush, without any looking into a progress. Okay? So that's difference between evaluation, because when we talk about evaluation, it is more in-depth and there is a need of further analysis that occurs at a specific point in time. If you talk about a specific point in time, there's an end of it, no? Even programs or projects, okay, pag projects kasi, it consists of a shorter span, no? It can be 3 months or 6 months at most. That's a project. But if it is a program, it's a year cycle, 2 years or 3 years at most, no? So this is the difference between a program and a project. A program is the bigger umbrella, while the project is the anak, no? Now, when we marry together the monitoring and evaluation, these are important components of program management and help us to ensure that the programs are effective, It's efficient and it meets the needs of the target population. Now, we define specifically what is monitoring. Okay, when we monitor, it is the ongoing process of collecting, analyzing, and using the data to track the progress of a program, a project, or intervention, and to make informed decisions about the implementation of these three. No, actually, we only have three programs, project, or intervention that is being implemented. Intervention is an offshoot of a problem. No, it's a research. Actually, started with a research among teachers or even school heads, no? Kung ang focus ng teachers ay mga bata, it is an intervention within the classroom. At kapag si school head naman, ang kanyang focus ay of course the teachers. That's the level of the governance, no? So intervention could be problems that perceive or arise during your school year na kailangan na ng immediate attention. Okay? Within the school year time. So at most ay 6 months tapos na yung inyong intervention program or one school year. This will make them informed about the implementation, and monitoring help us to ensure that the program is being implemented as planned, okay? And that the resources are being used effectively, and of course the intended results are being achieved. So you are there to monitor the progress of the project or the program. Okay, you have checklists to do, you have inputs to answer, and to provide through the proponent of the program or the project and intervention. Now the data is collected through monitoring and it's used for a mid-course correction. So there is a mid-plan or monitoring. So addressing the emerging issue will happen at the mid-course during the implementation and make evidence-based decisions about the implementation of the program. It's also a component that helps ensure that the programs are implemented effectively and achieve their intended results. So before the final results, there should be a mid-monitoring so that we'll know kung ano pa ang kailangang i-attain, no? Or i-stop. So we are at the middle. Then evaluation. What is evaluation? What's the difference between a testing with that of evaluation? Evaluation is more on its complex term, no? And it's a systematic and objective assessment. So it's not just testing. If you talk about testing, it is it's the use of a pen and paper or an online assessment. That's testing to look into what went well and what went not, no? But however, if you talk about a higher faculty or a more systematized and more objective type, we term it as evaluate, no? If you talk about evaluation, you look into all the angles of the situations. Yeah, you look at the top portion, the bottom portion, left to the right, no? So we are so objective of it, regardless of who is the proponent, no? So when we evaluate, we look into the ongoing and completed program, the projects or intervention. We determine its relevance, how effective the program, how efficient, what's the impact, and sustainability. Okay, so those are the things that we ask when we evaluate. And it provides information on its extent to which the objectives have been achieved. So at the end of the implementation, you need to provide us, no, the actual results, and it can be in an evidence-based data. Okay, just like a post-test, that's a form of evaluation. Product of focus group discussion, raise results during the post-observations. So those are evaluation tools. Looking into the strengths and weaknesses of the program, and it helps the organizations make informed decisions on how to improve or how well it will adapt their work. Evaluation can take place at the various stages of the program and project, including before it begins. Okay? That is called pre-evaluation. We also have during evaluation or the formative evaluation. When the project is ongoing, it's called formative. And after the completion of the project, it's now termed as summative evaluation. So the goal of the evaluation is to provide us the feedback that could inform a continuous improvement and help organizations maximize their impact. Rather than no evaluation at all beginning, during, and we only conduct the evaluation in the end. So hindi talaga siya nami-meet yung actual goal or the input. Kasi walang evaluation during the beginning and the end. Magaling lang tayo sa planning, but then kapag tanungin na saan yung results or na yung accomplishment, wala na, no? Ang bilis natin gumawa ng proposal, pero during the implementation, wala. Kaya natetenga yung mga innovations natin dahil pagtanungin ng supervisor, nasaan na yung proposal mo? Naku, hindi na pala kinontinue dahil nakapa-approve na siya ng proposal. So, tinamad na siya. Now, we go to the purposes of monitoring and evaluation and how it helps the organizations make informed decisions and improve the program outcomes. First, the very essence why we conduct MNE is to look for an evidence of impact and effectiveness. How will you implement? What are the things you've been implemented? What are your programs and projects no ongoing? So those are the questions that mostly the monitors are asking. No, do you have any innovations in your school? What are those? Okay, is it about curriculum? Is it about teaching and learning? Is it about assessment? Is it about physical facilities? Okay, is it about education support and services? Is it about legal mandates? So, ang dami-dami, no? They've got a lot of things to be evaluated. However, our core focus as school head, of course, is the curriculum and teaching. So, mostly dapat ang ating mga minomonitor ay yung sa classroom, yung supervisory, no? Classroom supervisory. The information is used now to track the progress. We identify the areas of improvement and facilitate, of course, the continuous improvement. And while evaluating the programs, projects, and interventions, we also demonstrate accountability to stakeholders and allocate resources effectively. Ultimately, MNE helps organizations improve program outcomes by fostering a culture of learning and improvement within the organization. So if you have various programs, if you have various projects, then the community, your stakeholders will be uh, at on guard to provide you with support and financial resources or even the human resource and power. Ganyan ang karisma ng school head. Yung nag-i-initiate kumbaga pero meron na siyang programs na nasa utak pero walang pera, ano bang magandang gagawin, no? So you consult your stakeholders and the stakeholders will be eager to support you. Ang problema lang kung hindi natin alam ilabi ang ating mga pangangailangan. Sana lahat tayo as a school head are great resource finders, no? Kaibigan natin ang kapitan, kaibigan natin ang mayor, kaibigan natin ang mga non-government organizations who are always there to support, yung mga alumni. Yan. So kayo ba mga kapatid ay may charisma sa mga stakeholders? Sagot o lagot? Hello? Hello?
Hello po.
Kumusta po ang ating culture and climate sa ating mga eskwelahan? Meron bang visible presence si Kapitan sa inyong school?
Yes po. Meron po.
At lang po, no? Kaibigan po natin. Alam niyo na yung mga styles kung paano kilitiin ang mga mga kapitan, ang ating mga konsehal, ang mga PTA, no? Alam natin kung saan sila pwedeng makagalaw, no? Maka-provide ng assistance sa atin. Lalong-lalo na mga kapatid kung may bisita, tapos kayo lang ang bumibisita. Tatanungin ni SDS o ng ating mga, saan yung mga stakeholders nyo? Wala kayong maisabi. May mga times kasi na gano'n, no? Saan si kapitan? Saan si magpo-program kayo, mag-host kayo, wala man lang magpakita, no? Kailangan yun. Number 1 as the school head, meron tayong kapalmoks. Yeah, kapalmoks. May charisma tayo, meron tayong parang power to ignite, influence with them. Alam mo na, ang gusto lang naman mga yan ay yung recognition, yan, during PTA meetings, sila ay nabibigyan na pagkakataon naman na yan, taas yung kanilang tawag dito, pagkakataon na maipakilala na sila ay ating mga supporters. Yun lang naman. Tapos a simple certificates to do during recognition time in your programs, projects. They wanted to be involved. Okay. Now, what's the difference between a formative and summative evaluation? Alam niyo na to, no? Kapag ongoing, during, yun yung mga code for formative. Kapag summative, summation, yan. So formative is continuous, ongoing, and during implementation of the program. Examples of formative is, yan, is the program being implemented? Are the program's activities having the desired impact? Are the programs can be improved to better meet the needs of the participants? When we talk about summative evaluation, that's the end of the program evaluation that assesses the overall success of your PAPs. Okay, it focuses on the results and outcomes of the program and seeks to determine the extent to which the program had been achieving its goal. Okay, so it's a comprehensive assessment of the program's both strength and its weaknesses. So if you ask, did the program achieve the objective? That's summative. To what extent was the program effective and efficient and relevant? That's summative. Did the program have the desired impact for the participants? That's summative. Okay, what were the main strengths? Summative. And what lessons can be learned from the program for future evaluation or implementation is summative. Now, we move into the three, no? Differences between the evaluation process. We have the conventional evaluation, participatory evaluation, and dalawa ba to? Yan. Kapag conventional, it's typically the top-down and focuses on the assessment of specific objectives and outcomes. So it involves the experts collecting the data through standardized methods and analyze it to determine the effectiveness of the program. Actually, when we conduct MNE, there is a particular person, no, a higher level officials who will be joining or conducting the MNE in your schools, just like the education program supervisors or the PSDSS who are to conduct a checklist and look into the progress monitoring both in formative and summative evaluation. They have the checklist. Yan. Alam nyo na kapag nandyan na sila, i-prepare nyo na yung mga means of verifications ninyo. So ang tawag dyan is conventional evaluation. There is someone at the top who are going down and look into a focused assessment. Hindi po siya data gathering. Okay. Alam nyo ba yung data gathering sa Ilocano? Sino mga Ilocano dito?
Shucks, sir, yung mga kung amot eksakto.
Alam nyo ba ang data gathering yan? Data, kukwak data. Sa mga Ilocano, data means akin yan. O, data.
Sir, Bagi, akin yan.
Data. So instead of a focus assessment or specific objectives that they're going to do, they look into a particular thing that they want to bring home, no? Sa Bisaya, ano naman yung term nyo? Sa Visayas and Mindanao. Anong term nyo doon sa mga nag-uwi? Mahilig mag-uwi. Ang daming mga term, di ba? Yung magsisharon. Wala nang ginawa, kundi kukuha ng kung ano-ano, no? Ang ganda-ganda ng ginawa natin, kung saan-saan natin kinuha, yung mga plans, nakiusap tayo sa mga bahay-bahay, kinapalan natin ng mukha. Tapos kukunin mo lang, iuuwi. Di ba? Nakakahiya po tayo. Hindi po tayo ganon, no? So kung anong ibigay, magpasalamat. Pero wag sabihin ito, no? Data gathering. Okay, for participatory evaluation, this is a bottom-up approach that prioritizes the involvement of the stakeholders in the evaluation. So this type of evaluation often involves the collection of data through participatory methods, such as they invite you for a focus group discussions, there is a survey, and there is an individual interview. So the data is then analyzed collaboratively to determine the strengths and weaknesses of a program. And this is very good, no? Part of a MNE where we could gather the most effective and the most verifying truth regarding the implementation of the program. When you are being invited, Kapitan, kumusta naman ang principal dito sa inyong barangay, no? Hindi ba siya pasaway? Hindi ba siya pasakit ng ulo? Anong mga pinaggagawa niya? Ilang kahoy na ang kanyang naputol, no? Ilan na ang kanyang naiuwi? Okay, mga jokes na gano'n, no? So, very evident ang mga participatory evaluations. So, these are some examples. So, what are the perspective and experiences of the program as a beneficiary? Okay, what do you as a stakeholder believe that there are strengths and weaknesses of the implemented program? So how well stakeholders been involved in the program? Okay, naging parte ka ba, Kapitan, sa implementation or pinapirma ka lang ni principal as a evidence of information pero wala kayong involvement. So si Kapitan magsasabi yan kung sa loobin, no? So what are the core objectives of NME? The core objectives of monitoring and evaluation could be one, to ensure that the programs and projects are implemented as planned, measured and assess the impact, identify the progress, or identify and address the challenges, obstacles, and risks, feedback and recommendations. Okay, what resources are effectively used, and of course to promote accountability and transparency, inform decision-making, and support continuous improvement by providing valuable insights and data on the performance and impact of the programs and projects. Now, showing you the table about the differences between monitoring and evaluation in terms of its purpose. Okay, when we monitor, we track the progress, identify issues, and make course of our corrections in real time. Okay. In real time, that's monitoring. May nakita ka, no? So you have to list down your observations. When we evaluate, we assess the effectiveness, efficiency, relevance, and impact of a program and intervention. However, for us in the regional level, we don't actually provide the corrections immediately, no? Kung hindi naman siya talagang karapat-dapat na i-check agad-agad, huwag gawin, no? For example, pumasok ka sa classroom at nandun yung teacher at gusto mo nang maging teacher, bawal po yun, no? You have to just observe, then after that, then you can mention your observation, but not to correct immediately what you wanted to provide feedback, no? Even though that's a corrective feedback, there will always be a time for dialogue, okay? May mga ganyan kasi no, hindi mapigilan yung bunganga na nakakarinig, may mga stakeholders na nandyan, para kang sino na nagsasabi ng kamalian or weaknesses ng tao. Hindi po pwede, no? So there will always be a platform or a forum. Then you can go back for the provision of technical assistance. Hindi yung mag-correct-correct ka, ang galing-galing mong mag-correct, pero wala ka namang example or a technical assistance plan for you to look into the concern. Yun. So you go to monitor. Of course, after the monitoring, you have to go back and prepare your technical assistance. Yan. Last ang evaluation. Next, focus, ongoing and regular, periodic and systematic. Method, both. No? Time frame, continuously during the implementation, at the end of the program. Data, real-time data and feedback, both qualitative and quantitative data for the evaluation. And in output, for monitoring, there is always an adjustment made, and in output, tapos na eh. So therefore, you have to recommend for future programs and projects. Then we have the steps in the monitoring. We have planning, data collection, data analysis, and feedback and reflections. Then we go for adjustment and improvement, reporting, and ongoing monitoring. What's the very purpose again of MNE in DepEd? Okay, to assess the effectiveness and efficiency of education program. Please remember this. Assess the effectiveness and efficiency of both PAPs, programs and projects and policies in achieving the desired outcomes, inform decision making and improvement, and provide accountability and transparency in the use of our resources. So how does the program monitoring and evaluation system ensure success and effectiveness in the educational program? Okay, it helps to ensure by regularly monitoring the implementation and collecting data on various aspects such as monitor the outcomes, impact, and efficiency and relevance. So this data been analyzed to determine the strengths and weaknesses of the program, identify the area for improvement, and make informed decisions on future program development and implementation. You cannot provide any policy recommendations or decisions without looking into the very lens, no? The very grassroots and the situations na hindi mo nakita. Okay. Anong masasabi mo during reporting? Wala. Dahil pumunta ka lang doon na data gathering. How does DepEd ensure the results of program monitoring and evaluation are used to inform future decisions? Okay, the answer is through various processes. One key process is the analysis and interpretation of the data collected through MNE, and this information is then shared to your relevant stakeholders. And additionally, it may conduct a follow-up evaluation to assess the impact of change made based on the results of the initial monitoring and evaluation. By continuously collecting and analyzing data, DepEd can ensure that its programs are achieve their intended outcomes and make necessary adjustments to improve their effectiveness. Okay? So that's the content for M&E. Questions? Questions, mga kapatid?
Wala po daw.
Okay, so if there's none, we're ready for our assessment. Palakihin ko lang. For question 1, okay, all of you got the correct answer. It's all in green. In the context of M&E, what is the primary purpose of monitoring? Of course, is to ensure that the program is being implemented as planned and intended, of course, the results is being achieved. Okay? That's our review kanina. For question 2, let us see. Question 2. Q3 yan. Okay. Merong konti lang. Which of the following best describes the purpose of evaluation? Evaluation is systematic determination of the relevance, effectiveness, and efficiency and sustainability of the program to assess the extent to which the objectives have been achieved. So evaluation can either be at the beginning, middle, and end. However, we look into the actual output, the relevance, effectiveness, efficiency, and sustainability. Next. In the school-based management, which situation reflects the role of monitoring rather than evaluation? Okay. When we monitor, there is a school head who review the monthly attendance records and resource utilization report to ensure that programs are implemented according to the school improvement plan. So that is monitoring. In letter B, to determine whether the literacy program had been improved for over 3 years, that's evaluation. No? Tapos na. External evaluator pa rin as a term is evaluation. And the stakeholders assembly discusses the perception and long-term impact. Okay, it's already completed, so D is also part of evaluation. Next, Q4. It's letter D. Which school scenario illustrates how evaluation goes beyond monitoring? Okay, evaluation conducts a comprehensive assessment of 2-year program after the completion to determine its effectiveness. Okay. Why long term? Because the assessment would look into 2-year completion report. And for A, weekly report, that's not long term. B, monthly expenses is not also a long term. C, attendance and punctuality quarterly is not also a long term. So the answer is D. You have to look into the timelines or the timetable in the implementation of the program. Okay? Yan naman ang result natin dito. Which of the following situations best demonstrates the use of monitoring to make a mid-course, ongoing, middle of the program? The answer is B. Checks the monthly progress reports of remedial reading classes and immediately adjusts. Okay? The teacher assignments and learning gaps are identified. When there is adjustments, meaning a catch-up plan or program that you're going to do, that is a mid monitoring and evaluation. For A, 5-year impact is evaluation. End of the school year is C, evaluation also. 2-year after the ICT program implementation is also a after evaluation. Okay? Very easy. Question 6. The District Learning Recovery Plan is currently halfway through of its first year of implementation. The school head decides to conduct a rapid appraisal. Obstacles of the program delivery, gather teacher feedback, and adjust the reading interventions accordingly. So meaning, the evaluation is happening at the middle or on the during implementation. So the answer is formative. Formative is ongoing, okay? Ongoing. Summative is end. Impact is for long years. Process is also in evaluation during formative. However, there is a negative statement there without focusing. So D will not be the correct answer. So we fix on or key in our answers on letter A. For question 7, okay, we have 3. We're not able to answer this. Bagong Silang National High School, the principal reviews quarterly monitoring data. showing low attendance in remedial reading. She calls a meeting for adjustment in terms of schedules, provide assistance to support its learning materials, engage parents in the process. Which part of the MN is being applied? Okay, to facilitate the continuous improvement by identifying the challenges early and making corrective actions during the program implementation. Quarterly monitoring, meaning it's still ongoing, no? So B, assess the overall, long-term foresee, progress evaluation without focusing again is a negative statement. So we peg on answer key A. Question 8. In monitoring of the school improvement plan, the principal received a report showing that only 50% of planned reading interventions were implemented due to lack of teacher training. Instead of addressing the issue immediately, she only compiles the data for submission at the division office, which limitation of the MNE is reflected. Okay, it's just ended with the collection of data or report, but fails to translate the exact finding into timely action for the improvement of the program. Medyo nalito kayo dito, no? Nag-gather lang sila ng report but not on the analysis of the report. Okay, next. 9. San Isidro Integrated School implemented a year-long numeracy catch-up program. During the mid-year, the principal gathered data from classroom observations, LRMDS utilization log, the learners' formative assessment scores to adjust the teaching strategies. At the end of the year, the division conducted an external evaluation using the NAT results along with the BES data to determine the overall impact of the program. Which type of evaluation was carried out in the year? Of course, that could be a summative evaluation because it looked into the overall effectiveness of the various indicators such as the utilization of the LR, the learner's formative test scores, and of course the teaching strategies. So those were all being assessed. So that's called summative. Next. Mabini Elementary School, the principal is preparing an annual implementation plan. The school's quarterly monitoring report revealed that 40% of the learners in the reading program are reaching proficiency benchmark. The teacher suggests reallocating part of the MOOE budget to purchase additional reading materials and training for the volunteer tutors. Which type of MNE is demonstrated by the principal if she bases her budget alignment on these quarterly reports? Quarterly monitoring reports. So the answer is the monitoring tool were used, or the results of the monitoring were used because she relies on the collected data to make immediate adjustment on the MOOE allocation and on the implementation program. It's not still a summative evaluation because it's a quarterly assessment report. Impact, hindi rin, process, but the negative statement is still on letter D. Without ensuring program effectiveness, therefore you need not to answer letter D. Okay, we have a division of the house. Hati ang sagot natin sa question 10. For question 11, what type of evaluation was primarily conducted through the focus group discussions? Okay, kailan ba nagkaroon ng focus group discussions? There was a FGD with parents and learners to assess the quality of implementation of the feeding program. The findings revealed that while attendance improved, many parents observed that the nutritional meal were not consistently delivered At the year-end SIP review, the SMET recommended policy adjustment. What type of evaluation was primarily conducted through this focus group discussion? Okay, it is a formative evaluation because it was done during the implementation to gather the stakeholders' feedback and make decisions before its completion at the end of the year. Okay. Tingnan natin kung kwan. Kasi ito nakakalito, no? Wala kasing sinabing dito na ongoing pa yung feeding program. Meron ba? So we cannot actually identify that question 11 is formative, meaning ongoing. So let's look into A, C, or D to verify whether the exact answer is B. A, monitoring because it involves a regular documentation of the distribution process. Wala na, no? Tapos na. Puro was nga yung nakalagay dyan. For C, summative evaluation because it measured the overall effectiveness of the feeding program after its completeness. Meron bang sinabi dyan na measure overall impact or effectiveness? Meron bang nagsabi dyan na na-improve ang quality ng school feeding program o problem ang na-arise? Or D, impact evaluation because it analyzed the long-term health and academic benefits of the program on the learners. Were there weighing or were there a final report of how many percent were able to gain severely wasted to a normal or anong tawag natin doon? Yung na-meet yung exact weight? Wala, no? Yes? So the answer is still letter B. Okay, we stick letter B. Next. At San Miguel High School, the division office deployed external experts. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Kala
Still
ko
here po.
na-off yung aking mic. Okay? At San Miguel High School, the division office deployed external experts to assess whether the remedial reading program met the objectives, while the school concurrently organized an FGD with learners and parents to reflect on their experiences and propose improvement. If the school head prioritizes the evaluation approach that empowers stakeholders by valuing their perspectives and collaborative analysis, which type of evaluation is being highlighted. Okay? So the school head allowed the participation of the stakeholders in the assessment, therefore it's participatory. So hindi natakot si school head no na ipa-assess sa mga stakeholders ang kanyang reading program. The answer is A. Next, question 13. During the end of the year review, Maligaya ES implemented two types of evaluation. The first is the external evaluators from the division office conducted the standardized test analysis to check if the school's numeracy intervention program met the targeted performance indicators. Second, the school conducted a workshop where teachers, learners, and parents discuss their experiences and propose strategies for improvement. When the school head presents the results to the division office, she emphasizes the accountability of programs outcomes through evidence-based measurement. Which type of evaluation is being prioritized in this context? So if it's top to bottom, as we mentioned, division office went to the school to conduct findings or fact-finding and results is called conventional. Okay? Conventional. Meron bang nakinig kanina? Hala, may mga red. Okay. The Dalawa lang ang pagpilian natin dito, participatory or conventional. Conventional is merong nakakataas na pupunta sa school na mag-monitor. Next. At Santa Cruz Elementary School or Integrated School, the principal invited the teachers, parents, and student leaders to co-analyze the results of the Brigada Pagbasa program. Okay, the answer is participatory evaluation because it emphasizes the collective involvement of the stakeholders in the analysis of the results and shaping program directions. Okay? Alam niyo na, no? Ang pagkakaiba ng conventional at participatory. Then question 15. After, meaning pagkabasa pa lang after completing the 1 year, it's summative, no? The school head prepared a comprehensive report for the division office. The evaluation highlighted the improvement in learners' nutritional status, attendance rates, classroom. Which type of evaluation described? It's a summative evaluation because it assessed the outcomes and effectiveness of the program after the completion of the project. Very evident on the first statement. Okay. Question 16. Again, Mabini High School. The school head required her teachers to submit a weekly attendance report, track the learners' participation in the remedial, and document immediate challenges in their reading program. At the end of the school year, an external team assessed the overall success of the program by analyzing the reading comprehension gains, efficiency of resource use, and the program's long-term relevance. Which process was the school head conducting when she focused on the weekly tracking and real-time adjustment during that implementation? Okay, hindi niya tinanong yung final, no? But the question asked is the weekly tracking. So it's a monitoring, no? Rather than evaluation because it involves the continuous tracking, progress checking, and immediate feedback during the implementation. The answer is B. Okay, nice try. Majority of you got the correct answer. Question 17. The division office commissioned the external team to analyze the effectiveness of a 3-year numeracy program. The final report highlighted the program's efficiency, sustainability, and impact. Always kapag yan ang tanong, evaluation ang sagot, no? So the answer is A because it assessed the effectiveness, efficiency, and impact and generated the recommendations that it can be replicated to other schools. Okay. Question 18. During. Okay, the very statement will tell you that that is an ongoing. And ongoing is not a summative, it's formative. Okay? It's a formative evaluation because it provides a feedback during the implementation to make the improvements and mid-course connections. So what they did during that mid-year review is they had their classroom observations, there are learners reading drills, and feedback sessions with their teachers. And these findings were revealed that some strategies were not effective for struggling readers. So teachers were advised that they need to modify the instructional approaches before the school year will end. So before the school year will end, that means hindi pa natapos yung activity. Question 19. After completing the 2-year school-based feeding program, the division research team gathered final data on learners' nutritional status. Final data, no? Meaning it's already done. And even the term after, no? The answer will be on summative. summative evaluation because it assesses the overall effectiveness of the program after the completion. Okay. Question 20. At the end of the district-wide ICT integration project, the evaluation team analyzed at the end. So those are the clue words or signal words for evaluation. Their findings show that while digital literacy improved significantly, some teachers need additional infrastructure support. So the final report included recommendations for scaling up the program. So which process best captures the activity is evaluation because it systematically assesses the effectiveness and outcomes of the program and recommended improvement. So, medyo may mga red tayo dito. Okay. When these are the questions that being raised during your assessment, it will be by looking into the timelines, no? Or the time indicators about whether the activity is after, still ongoing, or in a long-term activity. So if the statement says at the end, final, after, findings revealed, they are all to be termed as evaluation. Huh? Okay. We are now on chapter 7 of kapapasok. Okay. We continue our session for this evening, still on the program delivery, okay, and in program planning. For tonight, we will be showing to you the various components of the program delivery modes that are being implemented in DepEd region and in the division and to your schools. Okay. In terms of program delivery modes, we have the formal face-to-face training and the job embedded learning. What's the difference between face-to-face training and of course with the job embedded learning or the JOL? Okay. When face-to-face training is at stake, of course, with the presence, of course, of the facilitator or the speaker resource person together with the participants in the same area. So that would include a face-to-face discussions on lectures, presentations, demo, and activities. We have also the presence of the instructor as the subject matter expert who delivers the training content and provides guidance and feedback to the learners. Learners here can be the participants, no? Learners can also be the teachers and even those who are to participate in the training program. Okay, we are termed as learners. So learners are the participants of the training who receive the instruction and participate in the activities and discussions. Then there will be an assessment that is the key component of the face-to-face training and involves evaluating of learners' understanding based on the Kirkpatrick model. No, we have four models for the Kirkpatrick assessment. Then the resources such as textbook will be given also of handouts, multimedia materials that are typically provided with you. We term it as the slide decks. No? We have another form of program delivery, and that is the job embedded learning or the JEL. The JEL is already in the context of your job or work environment. So if you're being assigned as teacher or as school head immediately, okay, and you resume immediately your role as a school head. For example, you are a classroom teacher and you'll be pulling out to manage a school, no? To manage an elementary school or to manage a high school, junior high school or senior high school. Immediately, nandun dun sa nailagay na assignment order is to report, okay, immediately in exigency of service. So what are you going to do? Are you going to attend a training? Are you going to say no, no sir or no ma'am because I have to attend first a training? Hindi, no? So kailangan nandun ka na, so you are expected to perform your duty as the new school head of that school. Okay, what are you going to do then is to implement this job embedded learning. While you are working, while you are performing your role, you are also learning. Okay, you are already mastering the concepts and the performance as a school head. So that is called job embedded. There will be somebody in that school who could provide you the technical assistance. It could be the master teacher of the school would provide you the context, okay, and the description of your particular assigned school. Can be your administrative officer or somebody who is in authority to guide you or help you. Guys, siguro ng inyong public schools district supervisor in the district. So this type of learning is designed to address specific work-related challenges and improve your job performance. Okay. For job embedded learning, it focuses on applying the knowledge and skills directly to the learner's job so they can immediately see the benefits of their learning. So you have mentors or coaches with you. Who are these? These are often used to support the learners and they supervises. Okay, they will be there as your colleague or a subject matter expert who could provide you the guidance and feedback on the learner's learning progress and job performance. It's also being termed as collaborative learning, no? Because it involves a collaboration with you together with your learners, supervisors, or subject matter experts to solve or work together to combat a solution, no? And share best practices. In terms of reflection, Not just like in a training, it's assessment as the result. Here, reflection is the key component of job-embedded learning and involves the learners reflecting on their own and the job performance to identify the area for improvement. Okay? So, since it's on the job training, you are expected to reflect on uh, what's the first day of your service. Okay, you are mandated to submit your experiences or your reflections on the first day of service to the school's division superintendent. Okay, now we move on with the different basic education inputs programs of the Department of Education. Talk about the basic inputs. These are the implementations of the various POPs. POP stands for programs and projects that school heads should manage and should spearhead in its implementation in the school level. When you talk about the basic education inputs program, these are the program when it comes to the delivery of the curriculum, okay, support services, and promotion of well-being and health of your learners. Okay, as you all know, these are all guided by your vision and mission of the school to provide them with quality basic education services. If you talk about quality, your school should be a center of excellence in terms of delivery of curriculum, in terms of the facilities, okay? Because that's our role, so that our learners could stay and enjoy their stay in your school together with the teachers as well. Hindi lang yung mga estudyante ang ating binibigyan ng karampatang kasiyahan or ano ba, yung safety, kundi pati na rin ang ating mga kaguruan. Okay? Now, we have here the Basic Education Facility Program or the BEF. This component aim to improve the physical facilities of the school. Tapos na ata natin to, no? Ang sera na natin. Then we go to ano kayang naka-ready for you today? Napasadahan niyo na ba ito? Kagabi ito, no? Special Ed, Madrasa, Digenus, ALS, alternative delivery modes. Ang dami daw lumabas dito sa alternative delivery mode as being shared by your colleagues. And we have other learner support systems or programs, the school-based feeding program, government's assistance and subsidies. For private school, we have FAPE, the financial assistance to private education. We also have the FAS, financial assistance to students, the FASUC, financial assistance to state universities and colleges. We have the EAMP, educational assistance for military personnel, then the national budget for the construction of classrooms or the NBCC. Okay. For private schools, we also have the Education Service Contracting System or the ESC. It's a program of the Department of Education that aims to provide quality education to underprivileged and marginalized communities. So under this ESC program, the private schools are contracted by DepEd to operate and manage a public elementary and secondary school in the area with low enrollment and low teacher deployment. So the contracted service provider are responsible then for hiring and deploying teachers, providing them with instructional materials and maintaining the school facilities. That's why in a municipality with a private school, they are given assistance from the government. No? Tumatanggap sila ng share kung saan yung mga excess, sabi nating excess enrollment from the large national high schools or public schools are being transferred into the elementary or private secondary schools to have their to continue their education in that private school. So that's ESC, no? May subsidy ang government sa bawat private schools. Kaya kapag nag-o-offer yung mga private schools in their curricular offerings, they are given free slots of 100 learners, ganun. Free tuition fee. Yan. Pag ganun yung nababasa niyo sa mga schools, that is a assistance program from the government. Then we have also the senior high school voucher program. Okay, it's a program that provides the financial assistance to eligible high school students to pursue their senior high school from grades 11 to 12 in either public or private schools of their choice. No, so under this program, the government provides vouchers to eligible students which they can use to pay for their tuition fees, miscellaneous fees, and other school-related expenses. The voucher amount is based on the prevailing cost of education in the region as determined by DepEd. Actually, paiba-iba, no? In some areas, they are receiving 17,000 per year. Per year ba o per semester? Okay. The objective of the voucher program is to increase access to quality senior high school education, particularly among the underprivileged and marginalized students. And by providing them with financial assistance, the program aims to remove the financial barriers of these low-income families, no? So that they could pursue their higher education and to encourage more students to complete the senior high school education in the area. Then we have the joint delivery voucher. Okay. Ano naman itong JDVP? No, narinig niyo siguro ito among high schools. So this is a program under the Department of Education that aims to provide financial support to eligible students in order for them to enroll and continue their education in private schools. So this program is a joint effort between the government and the private sector to address the increasing demands of quality education and improve access to education. Yung voucher program ay na-extend na rin sa mga schools, especially senior high schools, na walang kakayahang makapag-implement ng kanilang senior high school track at kailangan nila ng private learning institutions to deliver the program to their students. So malaki din ang halaga nito, no? Binabayaran one learner per student to a private provider, no? Para ma-ready sila for the assessment before they graduate so that they will be given a NC certifications. Okay. So that would be for our first session's inputs. Now we're ready to have your first mock test for this evening.
Almighty.
Okay. You can now scan the QR code or you can encode the bit.ly. The exam code for tonight is ACOPA. No? So you have 30 minutes to work on with our first assessment.
Sa bawat pagmulat ng araw, may isang guro na gumigising ng mas maaga kaysa lahat. Tahimik siyang naghahanda ng kanyang aralin, inaayos ang kanyang mga kagamitan at nagdarasal na sana'y maging handa ang kanyang mga mag-aaral sa panibagong araw ng pagkatuto. Ang guro, hindi lamang nagtuturo ng pagbasa, pagsusulat at pagbibilang. Sila ang gumagabay sa ating mga pangarap. Sila ang nagtatanim ng tiwala sa sarili ng isang batang natatakot magkamali. Sila ang nagbibigay ng tapang sa kabataang natutong bumangon sa kabila ng pagkadapa. Ngunit sa kabila ng kanilang malaking papel, madalas ay sila rin ang tahimik na nagbubuhat ng pinakamabibigat na hamon. Bahaman o bagyo, guro ang unang gumagawa ng paraan upang hindi maputol ang pag-aaral. Kakulangan man sa libro, tiyok o upuan, guro ang malikhaing solusyon. Kahit kapos sa sahod, kahit kulang sa tulog, kahit mahaba ang biyahe, guro ang patunay na nagsisilbing ilaw sa ating mga paaralan. Kaya sa panahong sinusubok ang Pilipinas, mula sa mga kalamidad, hamon ng ekonomiya at pagbabago ng lipunan, ang guro ang tunay na haligi ng pag-asa. Kung may guro, may kinabukasan. Kung may guro, may lakas ang sambayanan. Ngayong ipinagdiriwang natin ang buwan ng mga guro mula Setyembre 5 hanggang Oktubre 5 at ang pandaigdigang araw ng mga guro tuwing 5 ng Oktubre, panahon na upang ipakita ang ating taus-pusong pasasalamat. Pasasalamat sa kanilang tiyaga, pasasalamat sa kanilang malasakit, pasasalamat sa kanilang hindi matatawarang serbisyos para sa bayan. Ngunit higit sa pagbati ng salamat guro, panahon na rin upang ipaglaban ang kanilang karapatan. Karapatang magkaroon ng sapat na suporta mula sa pamahalaan at komunidad. Karapatang mabigyan ng maayos na pasilidad, ligtas na silid-aralan at makatarungang pasahod. Karapatang madama na sila ang pinahahalagahan hindi lamang tuwing Oktubre kundi araw-araw ng kanilang paglilingkod. Dahil sa bawat pagmulat ng araw, may isang guro na gumigising ng mas maaga kaysa lahat. Tahimik siyang naghahanda ng kanyang aralin, inaayos ang kanyang mga kagamitan at nagdarasal na sana'y maging handa ang kanyang mga mag-aaral sa panibagong araw ng pagkatuto. Ang guro, hindi lamang nagtuturo ng pagbasa, pagsusulat at pagbibilang. Sila ang gumagabay sa ating mga pangarap. Sila ang nagtatanim ng tiwala sa sarili ng isang batang natatakot magkamali. Sila ang nagbibigay ng tapang sa kabataang natutong bumangon sa kabila ng pagkadapa. Ngunit sa kabila ng kanilang malaking papel,
From the first light of dawn, someone is already preparing, not just a lesson plan, but a life. Someone chooses patience over the easy path, service over the spotlight. That someone is a teacher. This September 5th to October 5th, we honor the quiet courage and steady calling of our teachers. We call it National Teachers Month, a time to celebrate those who shape our future. They do more than teach facts. They build confidence, they open doors, they lift communities. Teaching is not just a job. It is a vocation, a calling that asks for heart as much as skill. It asks for the courage to believe that one human life can change many, and that every child, given guidance, can become the best version of themselves. Think about the teacher who saw potential where others saw only trouble. The teacher who stayed after class to explain again, who listened when it mattered most. Those small acts of care become a lifetime of possibilities. What does it mean to promote teaching as a vocation? It means recognizing that teachers deserve honor, support, and a future as bright as the futures they create. It means investing in their growth, celebrating their victories, and sharing their stories, so more young people will hear the call and say, "I want this life." To every young person searching for purpose, consider teaching. It is hands-on, heart-forward, and forever meaningful. To families and communities, encourage the teachers among you. To policymakers and partners, stand with them, fund their training, improve their workplaces, lift their dignity. During National Teachers Month, we do more than applaud. We listen, we share, we learn how to make teaching attractive, not through empty praise, but through real changes. Better training, fairer pay, safer classrooms, stronger support for mental health and professional growth. Imagine a community where teachers are celebrated not only for special days, but every day. Imagine a future where the brightest minds see the classroom as a place to lead, to build. That future begins when we honor teaching as a noble profession and as a calling worth pursuing. If you are a teacher, remember, your work matters. Your patience plants seeds that classrooms and communities will harvest for years. If you are a parent, a student, a neighbor, say thank you. Share a story. Volunteer time. Support programs that uplift our teachers. This month, join us in small, powerful ways. Speak of teachers with pride. Celebrate their wins. Support their growth. Encourage the young ones who might one day stand at the front of a classroom and say, "Yes, I will teach." Because teaching changes lives. It transforms neighborhoods. It builds nations. National Teachers Month, from September 5th to October 5th, 2025. Celebrate a vocation. Celebrate a calling. Celebrate our teachers. The Arrow Reading Program ensures that every learner follows a clear and structured pathway toward improving their reading skills. And just as important, it also provides defined exit points so that teachers, school heads, and stakeholders understand when and how a child is ready to move on.